Hi, you guys. I thought I would do a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City video. It's been a while. I haven't done one for a long time. And I'm home now, so I thought, why not? And it's the reunion. So I'm going to cover the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 reunions because I've got some tea. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to take you through the tea as we go through what happened on tonight's reunion. So the first bombshell of the night is Monica Garcia and Heather Gay. What happens is Heather Gay brings an audio with her that she was sent of Monica Garcia basically implying that the only reason she worked for Jen Shah was to get on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And that prompts Monica Garcia to share with the whole cast what she sent the casting directors at Real Housewives of Salt Lake City casting. You know, they always are on Instagram looking for talent each year. And well, this is what her reach out to casting Reaching out in regards to your casting call. Would love more information on what needs to be done or how to move forward. You guys need a feisty, excommunicated Latina on the show immediately. I'm your girl, Monica F. Funny enough, Monica says to Andy Cohen, I basically told the casting directors that without Jen Shah, the show was going to be crap. And so they had to have me on so that I could fix the situation because the cast sucked. And so it's only I could fix it. And that's what I said to casting. Oh, and the ratings were low for a few of the years of seasons. And that's what she said. And Andy Cohen's like, oh, you think the ratings were low? Oh, you think the show wouldn't be good without Jen, huh? And she was like, yep. Funny enough, I had a conversation with Monica about this before she was casted for the show. So I think maybe I might have accidentally planted that seed. I'll show you in a minute. And Andy says, you girls have not hung out since Bermuda. Is that correct? And Monica Garcia corrects him and says, that's not true, Andy. They have all hung out since Bermuda. I just haven't hung out with anybody. And he's like, well, that's what I meant. And she's like, okay, well, it didn't really come across. So then Heather Gay tries to make it that Reality Von Tease 2, which is Monica Garcia's account that she used to expose Jen Shah, wasn't really targeted at the women and it was supposedly run by many people or whatever. We touch on that a little bit. It's going to be touched on again. But that happens. Now, I have to say, I knew the Reality Von Tease account pretty well. I'm going to share that with you in a minute. And I would say it was Monica mainly running that account. Now, there were other people associated with it, including Koa, right? Who's who Jen Shah was screaming at, the stylist, who was also on the same Hulu special as me, Shah Shocker. And then some other girl, something Hernandez. Anyway, if you go to the podcast tab and you listen to Sunday's episode, I read you the whole cease and desist that Jen Shah sent to the owners of the Reality Von Tease 2 account because she knew who they were. And of course, Monica Fowler was one of them. Here's a picture of it. It sits in the Patreon. And I read it to you on the pod and tell you the whole story behind that. Anyway, it's pretty clear after we listen to all the voice recordings that have been leaked by Tanisha, Monica's friend, and Heather Gay's hairdresser, which are also on the podcast from Sunday, and my bonus audio I dropped today. There was more of that. It's pretty clear that Monica Garcia had only one intention, which is she was going to create as much drama and spill as many secrets as humanly possible to get a position or an opportunity to cast on the show and stay on the show. Like, no authenticity, just get the job, keep the job, that's it. Say whatever. I'm going to read you some of the messages that I had with Reality Von Tease, and you'll hear that it sounds a lot like Monica on them. Anyway, at the time, I didn't know it was her, so I thought it was just an insider in Salt Lake City who knew the girls, but was just like a fan, which I guess Monica kind of was. It's not unfair. Like, that pretty much was what she was. She just didn't say her name. But before I do, let me go ahead and read to you what the audio is that Heather Gay plays of Monica Fowler Garcia, whatever her name is, because she keeps changing it. Okay, ready? Here we go. Monica said, fucking Kim Kardashian was a fucking assistant. And look at that bitch now. I can fully admit that the whole reason why I was an assistant and putting up with that shit was as a stepping stone, as a learning experience. And then Andy Cohen pressed further, were you being her assistant to get on the show? And she basically says yes in the end, okay? Now, to be fair, she didn't talk about the other women on the Reality Von Tease 2 site, honestly. She didn't. She just dragged Jen Shah. That's really true. So I do think the women exaggerated it so they'd have a really big moment in the finale. You know how that goes. Now, that said, what is true is that Heather Gay was tortured by Jen Shah behind the scenes all the time, and she did try to stay true blue to Jen. I do not believe Jen Shah gave Heather Gay her black eye, no matter what Heather Gay says in the finale or in the reunion, because I really do believe that she hit it on the sink at that hotel room drunk, which is what I heard, and I'm not going to say from who, but when it happened and before production had a chance to make this the big moment at the end of the finale. And as you guys know, Jen Shah dropped a message on her feed that she was innocent and that this was not true. And then she tried to justify it to the fans in a way the fans could understand it. But in fact, on this one, which you've never heard me in the history of the world agree with Jen Shah, but on this one, I'm going to agree with Jen Shah. I do believe that Heather was coaxed into making this the story that Jen Shah gave her the black eye. Just saying, okay? And so I do believe Jen Shah's right on this one. She didn't do it. And funny enough, not only did I hear what I just told you from a source close to Heather, but I heard it from Jen Shah herself yesterday. By the way, you may want to go check out the description of my bonus audio right now if you haven't in the Patreon, Dishing Drama Dana. You might want to check that out. There's a little surprise in there. Or maybe just go to my Instagram. It's on my story too, in the description of today's bonus audio. Okay, so let me show you my conversation with Reality Von Tease. First, let me show you a few slides so you know what the hell I'm even talking about. Okay, so here is the first interaction I have with Reality Von Tease on my DMs. March 1st, 2021. Okay, and that has been removed. And that's because, well, it would have probably given away a little bit of her identity as Monica Fowler. And then shortly after, on March 2nd, 2021, Reality Von Tease sends me a bunch of videos to do with Jen Shah that were, Jen Shah yelling at Koa and all that stuff to make sure that I saw them. And I was like, whoa, who's this girl coming in hot? And then I wrote to her, hi, sweetie, thank you for sharing these. What context are these taken in? Do you know? Poor Koa. And then Reality Von Tease says to me, aka Monica, thank you for sharing. I'm not sure the context totally. I just wanted her to be held accountable for her actions. And then I leave voices because, I love to talk to people on there. And I send her my podcast where I do a whole thing about Jen Shah, okay? And then she sends me this. All these receipts about Jen Shah not owning the Porsche she's seen in the show, that actually it's her assistant, Stu, that owns the Porsche and that she's broke and all of these other things. And then she shows a picture of Stuart, the assistant. Now remember, this is before they're indicted. She also makes sure to call out that Jen Shah's borrowing all of her clothes for the show. So then this happens. I get these messages that are now deleted. See that? That was actually the cease and desist that Jen Shah sent. And it said to the Reality Von Tease account, and it was dated March 8th, 2021, that she sends it to me, meaning Monica Garcia sends it to me. And I say, no way, what are you going to do, love? And then she sends me Koa on Wendy Williams. Okay, there's Koa on Wendy Williams. God, this is far back, right? Can you believe it? And then I say, yes, girl, because I love a good juicy gossip sesh. And then I retweet the cease and desist on my Twitter. Probably still there. You guys should go look for it. Anyway, I have it in the Patreon too. So then Reality Von Tease 2 reposts Koa saying, I'm seeing all the speculation and accusations around why things ended between myself and my previous employer, blah, blah, blah. And that whole story happens. She makes sure to tell me that. So then I say to her, listen, did you know that people are saying really bad things about Koa, like taking money and not finishing dresses and all this stuff? And I send that to her. And she says, I can't see it. And I say, oh, it looks like you've been blocked. So, of course, as a good gossip girl, I screenshot it to her in detail. Hello. And then send her some more. Then she sends me a bunch of stuff. And then she starts reposting me and reposting me. This is her reposting me. And then we're laughing and having fun. Oh, Monica, you should have just told me you were casting. And then she said, I don't know what the hell we were posting, but she said there were people reporting it or whatever. So then the relationship continues into June of 2021, and we're talking quite a bit. And then she sends me this video. That's Jen Shah making it rain cash on the exotic dancer. Yeah. And then Reality Von Tease calls out that that's the elderly's money. I'm like, that is allowed, but not a good look in court of public opinion. Thanks for sharing. Very gross. That's what I said. And then she says, absolutely allowed, but also very telling. And then I leave her some sort of voice message because, again, I don't know who the hell I'm talking to, but I'm having fun. I love this. You know, I can tell she's an insider. So I'm like, oh, this is the best. Love when this happens. And then she's loving me too. So she says, fucking love you. Hearts, hearts. I want to know how they're paying for the lawyers and how they secured the $250,000 and 2 signers. And I tell her the gossip at the time around that. And then she says, such a clusterfuck. So when the lawyers said they wanted $1 million retainer, she doesn't have to pay that up front then. Like, she's really like coming for Jen. And June 28, 2021, I say something. I tell her like the whole kit and caboodle on that. And then she goes, oh, gotcha. And then she laughs. And then she goes, okay, wait. So are they staging a fake trip and the boyfriend is in on it? And then I tell her about that. And then she says, girl, I fucking love you. And then she says, so scared she's going to go missing. And there's like shock faces and all this stuff. I don't know what we were talking about at this point. And then anyway, I keep sending her gossip and she's just loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Oh my God, I didn't know. I was like, legit. Anyway, it's hilarious. But listen to how she talks. Legit fucking worried. Oh my fucking GGG. The desperation for attention. Unfucking believable. 2,000 on pajamas. She's fuck. He's so gross. Legit thinks she's missing. Believe this shit. Yes, totally listen to that. You added up her points about her sentencing guidelines because I did a show on that. This is all the way back July 24th, 2021. And I said, did you see this? Da-da-da-da-da. And she wrote, oh, trust. Saw all that, honey. I mean, either that's Koa or Monica, because that's how they talk. Just saying, those two. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's one of the last little text messages that I had, like exchanges with Reality Von Tease. She says, allegedly from T Reports, production is up Jen's ass. She gets whatever she wants and everything revolves around her. And filming is going the raceway again because that's all Jen has. It's nonstop. I'm brown. It's because I'm brown. Another season of that will end this franchise. And then she says, do you think this is because of Mike or just in general? I must have posted something on my feed. So then I repost some of her gossip and I say a poll, is there a show basically without Jen? And then I tell Reality Von Tease, I'm surprised that the fans believe that there is a show without Jen at 50, I think it's 8%, and that the rest, 42% said there was no show without Jen, and then she says such a mess. Now, I also know that all the ladies have been talking about, saying that the show hasn't been doing well, and mainly not on the show, but they're casting and they're saying that, so who knows if it's true or not, but that must be where Monica got that from. And she sent me stuff about like, how is Jen Shah paying for her husband's birthday party? And she says she knows who really paid for it. And she says can't share that because it's a dead giveaway about who it is, and they're worried about their safety. So like safety's worried. And then she goes, laugh out loud, love you. She's loving me. Monica, you love me, don't you? Do you still love me? I hope so. Dana loves you. So then the messages stopped suddenly in August of 2022. And I think, well, it's because Jen's gone now. But really, it's because Monica Garcia Fowler has casted for the show. And she doesn't want to get in trouble now. But she didn't delete the account now, did she? And if she really wanted to cover her tracks, she would have, including the DMs she sent to me, because she knows damn well I still have them. So, my darlings, Monica Garcia always wanted the Reality Von Tease 2 account to come out. It was always part of the plan. Don't you love when a plan comes together? So in the next part of the reunion, Andy asks Monica why she feels like people think she stole Lisa Barlow's ring. And the thing is that wasn't really the gossip at the time. Gossip at the time was that Lisa may have not lost the ring at all, and she just was pretending to lose the ring. And then also the other gossip was that maybe she lost the ring, but it wasn't worth that much money. She was exaggerating the amount. Did you know 58,000? Exaggerating. Maybe did you know 5,000 might be more likely. That was the gossip. There was nothing about Monica stealing the ring. Nobody thought Monica was a thief or untrustworthy yet. That comes later. Anyway, I guess the price didn't matter anyway to Lisa Barlow, because allegedly John gave her the ring when he thought that their child might die. And so when it didn't happen, he gave her the ring to, make her feel better about the whole situation. And now it acts as a reminder that her children are alive and to be grateful and all that. By the way, we're going to find out, I think, next week that her son Jack bounced on his Mormon duties in wherever the hell he was going, Colombia, I think it was. We don't know what happened, but it probably had something to do with this. Lisa Barlow said, I miss Jack every day. He has been in the hospital for 3 days, and it's killing me not being there. December 19, 2023. Okay, another bombshell that was dropped, again, having to do with Monica Garcia, was that she offered to be an FBI witness. They didn't approach her first in the Jen Shah trial. Then they showed a bunch of clips of Whitney Rose and how she had kind of started fights with people over a lot of kind of blah, blah, just like pushing their buttons and things like that. And she establishes that she has a real relationship with Lisa Barlow, which, Heather wants to eye roll totally, because Whitney and Lisa couldn't stand each other for the longest time. And it's like, where did this come from? But anyway, that happens. And then Whitney Rose starts talking about how her husband and her had a tough time, but they're working through it. And he's wearing his ring around his neck. And the reason he wasn't wearing his ring was it hurt his finger. And basically backtracking because her story was bullshit and a lie. And she knows all of her cast members know that her and Justin's relationship never had problems. It was made up so Whitney could have something to start the season off. And, holy shit, if she couldn't think of anything else. Just saying, it's the truth. And if you end up watching it, watch when Andy asks her what she does. Ask any body language expert if she's lying. Oh, yes, yeah. She's the first time you've ever seen Whitney Rose nervous is during the question about her husband and her relationship. What comes out, I guess, about Angela Katsanevas is that she talked a whole bunch of shit about Meredith behind her back, but to only periodicals, not to Meredith's face or cast members. But she backstabbed her every minute in the press, oddly. And Meredith also denies that she had gossip on Katsanevas' husband that, she didn't bring forward. I would say that's not totally accurate. I think she did have gossip on Angie Katsanevas' husband, but didn't use it. But you got some gossip about Angie Katsanevas' husband, and that people thought maybe he was gay or from the LGBTQ community, because I guess Angie said because he was a hairdresser, people assumed that. Monica rolled her eyes. She's like, no, everybody thinks that. Nice try, Angie. But that was like sort of the games that were happening between the women, and Angie gets activated, and because she doesn't like, everybody talking about her family, her husband, and all this stuff. And Meredith is like, well, you talked about me supposedly spreading my legs with everybody while I wasn't with my husband. And so tit for tat, and that's where we end with them. I wonder if Angie Katsanevas about the bankruptcies and the tax liens and all of those things, the Greek mafia rumors. Is she going to address those? Because she's very conscious of her appearance. I mean, look at her poodle, right? And I kind of wonder, like, how is she going to sort of damage control and address those things, and keep her appearance up like she likes, her branding. It'll be interesting. I can't wait. I hope he asks. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's part 1. I have some more stuff, but I'll wait till next week. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a while, guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. As usual, you don't know what you're going to get from me ever. Bye.